All right, so the day is finally here where I'm gonna take this in and get tuned. Now, I had taken it in before to get tuned. We were having problems with the wideband reading full lean. So initially we thought it might have been the Mega Square or something going on. We tried multiple sensors and it was reading full lean on the dyno. So after talking with Sam, we just kind of figured, you know what, let's go with the more up-to-date ECU. So I switched over to ECU Masters. Shout out to ECU Masters because they did a great job helping me trying to figure out the most recent problems I was having. But anyways, I ended up switching the turbo for something smaller that spools. I'm only looking for about, I don't know, 500, 550 horse. So that should get me where I need to go. The other turbo I have for sale on Facebook Marketplace because it's really too big for what I'm looking for. So that means I had to redo the downpipe, redo a bunch of stuff, and then once I did actually get the ECU Masters all hooked up, you know, I repinned it myself, which, you know, things you don't do often tend to take you a little longer. Bought a bunch of tools to help me do the job, right crimpers and all the stuff I needed. But anyhow, got it started. And then what I was having problems with initially was, well, one, trying to get it to start. But when I did get it to start, it would break up like, I mean, it was just like pop. It took me a while to find the right trigger angle and everything. And again, I was used to Mega Squirt, not like I was a tuner, but I was used to Mega Squirt. So I had to basically relearn another program, which took a little while because I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. But I was able to figure most of the basic stuff out with the help of Sam. And then Sam came over and helped me try to get it running. We did get it started, and but then it started doing that full lean thing again on the air-fuel ratio. Just the Lambda was going full lean. It was basically doing the same exact thing the Mega Squirt was doing. So here I am thinking, okay, what's going on? So then I basically ordered another O2 sensor and unpinned the O2 sensor wiring from the harness, and I ran new wire from the O2 sensor to the ECU Masters ECU black, and then started it up, and hey, now I was getting readings. So I guess it was something to do with the wiring. It's kind of hard to say. I learned how to test the O2 sensor using the ECU Master, so that was pretty cool. But anyhow, so I replaced the sensor into wiring. So was it the wiring? Was it the sensor? I know I tried multiple sensors on the existing wiring with the Mega Squirt, so I'm kind of leaning there was something going on in the harness there. But anyhow, so I got that figured out. But still, anytime I go above 1,000 RPM, it was just popping and banging. So with help of ECU Masters and Sam, I was able to open up the scope and find that the trigger would sync, the cam trigger would sync up during cranking and it would start, but anytime I'd rev it, it would lose sync. So then basically I was, going through different things, checking the cam sensor. I basically came down to either the something in the actual harness, or maybe how the wire switched, right? Because I had to pull the Mega Squirt harness connector off and then repin and take that and repin or pin, whatever you want to call it, the ECU Master black connectors. So I wasn't 100% sure on those two wires from the cam sensor. Crank sensor was good, but it was a cam sensor. And then I'm using the rear cam sensor. If you're familiar with the 1JZs and I guess 2JZs, but on the 1JZs, I'm only running one cam sensor. I'm running in the rear location. So I basically have a block off plate there for the front cam sensor, and I'm using that rear cam sensor. I know it's kind of hard to see in there, but it's right there. Right there. Anyways, so once I pulled that cam sensor plug off, I looked at the wires, and I'm going to throw a picture up in a second so you can see one of the wires was actually the insulation on the wire fell off. So I basically cut it, repinned it, but swap the pins. Once I swap the pin, fire right up, no problem. And of course, the cold start is probably not the best, which you're going to see in a second. I'm going to do a cold start now. But yeah, basically fire right up and revved fine. So that meant it's dyno time. It is D-Day, I guess you could say. We're going to find out what she's going to make. So stay tuned and hopefully have some more videos. Actually, you know what? Bump that. I'm going to do a cold start. So let's see how she starts up in the morning. All right. Okay. ECU on. No, not bad. Not bad at all. Put this in, put it back in there. Come on. So, cold start really not that bad. Okay. B90 front. I'm thinking of getting rid of this. Not really too happy with that. So I may go with the click tuning over fender. I'm not really looking for a crazy wide look. Yeah, I just like the way the car looks as it is, you know, just maybe a little bit of fender flare, but nothing too crazy. You know, shout out to Bryce with the sick Driftsessions stainless steel logo there. Pretty sick. So anyways, I'm gonna load it up on the trailer, take it to Sam at Gizmos. We're gonna put it on the dyno, and we're gonna see what kind of numbers we get. If all goes well, I should be at, I should say, event near you if you live in Florida, hopefully.